everybody, happy Tuesday. And since it's Tuesday, that means I'm on Tumblr. So if you haven't found me on Tumblr, hop on there. Kati Morton, just my name, smooshed all together. You can find me that way. And I have 3 questions today as well as a journal topic. And the journal topic isn't actually from Tumblr because I didn't see any from there. So I got it off of Instagram. So thank you so very much for saying it. So question number 1 is, can you develop an eating disorder in adulthood? Of course you can. There's this weird myth out there that for some reason only when we're in our youth do we have any time for mental disorders or any issues, and we're supposed to like figure it out in that period of time, when we all know when we're in our youth we have such a hard time just figuring ourselves out in general, just being ourselves, let alone dealing with something that's a little bit more intense. So a lot of times my patients don't even start working on their eating disorder until they're in adulthood. So yes, you can have one and not work on it until your adulthood. And yes, you can develop one in adulthood. There's no age limitations on eating disorders or mental disorders. The only thing that's age limiting are things like developmental disorders, some learning disabilities, if I remember correctly, as well as precursors to antisocial personality disorder, which is what a lot of people refer to as psychopaths. Things like conduct disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, those have age limitations. But there are like depression, eating disorders, borderline personalities, none of those really have any age limitations as to when we can develop them. With personality disorders, like I've said in the past, we won't be properly diagnosed until we're 18. They believe that we'll give our brain that long to develop, and if it's still happening at that point, then they'll call it a personality disorder. But there's no shame in being older and developing a mental health issue. We all have issues, and when they happen in our life, it's something we just have no control over. So you're not alone. Okay. Question number 2. Hi, Kati. What's your point of view on medication for mental illness? It's my 3rd year of being on meds, and although some of them have been effective, I still haven't found the right one for me. When I'm not on them at all, I go in a downward spiral, but I'm sick of trying new meds. My thoughts on medication are this. If therapy is enough, if working on yourself and going to therapy once a week is enough to keep you feeling like you can do well in your life and you're happy enough and you're healthy enough and you feel good most of the time and you're able to manage it, then you don't need medication. But if therapy isn't enough, then medication is definitely a great option. Research shows without a doubt, you can Google, you can get on any kind of site. I'm trying to think of the ones that I utilize most, but any kind of site from any of your local universities that, you know, do a lot of research. You can look up research on this. Medication plus therapy equals our best outcome. So to say, I understand trying new medications can be really annoying, and maybe that means you switch psychiatrists because maybe that one just isn't giving you what you want, or maybe you do the gene testing now. They like swab your cheek and send it off, and that can help sometimes. But it gives us the best outcome, and there's no shame in being on medication. There's no shame in trying a medication if therapy is not enough and if you're really struggling. That's what it was created for. And why wouldn't we try to give ourselves the best outcome, right? So if any of you have experience with medication and it's something that you think will be helpful to this person, can you let me know below? Because that can be really helpful when we're kind of feeling frustrated and we're just feeling like it's not getting us anywhere, okay? Question number 3. Hey, Kati, how do you know which type of therapy is right for you? Or how do you know when you're in the wrong one? Thank you. I thought this was just such a great question because we often don't know until we try them. Now, obviously in my videos, I've talked a lot about CBT therapy being really good for anxiety disorders. But there are a lot of different types of therapy. And truthfully, I wouldn't worry so much about the type unless you've been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and someone who's referred you to a DBT therapist and DBT groups. That is without a doubt the best pair for that. But any other thing that you're struggling with, I find that it's more important that we connect with a therapist. I wouldn't worry about what type of therapy they do as much as how you feel when you're there. Do you feel like you can talk to them? Do you feel like they really get you and they understand and they're empathetic in the way that you need, and they give homework that you would, it's really helpful, and they follow up with you? I want to make sure you feel good about it. And I have a video on this if you want to look on my channel. I think it's called Therapeutic Relationship. So look for that. because it's really, really important. And not so much, they find it actually doesn't even matter how good we are at a certain type of therapy as therapists or what type of therapy we give. It's just that our relationship with our clients is a good one. So I want to make sure you have that click with them and you feel, like it will work. Okay? Okay, so journal topic for the day from Instagram is a head full of fears has no space for dreams. And I personally find this to be true. If I let my nerves of being on camera, if you looked at my older videos, I was so nervous. I did not want to do this at all. I was afraid of what people would say. I was afraid of the ridicule I would get, or people didn't like it. I was afraid of a lot of different things from being on YouTube because who knows, right? But if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be having this wonderful experience. And if I didn't face my fear of moving away from home, I would never have gone to college. There's a lot of things that we would never have done if we didn't face our fears. If we let our brain be filled with fears, there's no room for our dreams. So I would encourage you today to journal about the fears that you have, things that you worry about, maybe decisions that you're making. Sometimes it can help to just write them out or type them out so you can actually kind of process through it. And then I want you to write some dreams you have, things you really want to do in your life, things that you hope to do in the next week, in the next month, in the next year, in the next 5 years, in the next 20 years. I want you to start thinking about it because sometimes those fears get in our way and we don't even realize they're there or that we're not even recognizing them. We almost admit defeat before we even attempt it because it's too scary. So I would encourage all of you to take time to process through it and really focus on what your dreams are. Maybe put them up on Post-its around. Maybe remind yourself. Maybe be a pop-up on the screen of your phone when you pick it up. It has one of your dreams for that week or that month. Because oftentimes we don't realize how important and powerful and wonderful we are. And being reminded daily by little Post-its or things like that can really help us keep focused on where we want to get to and how we're getting there and help us take it one day at a time. Okay, I love you all. I'll be on the website tomorrow as well as YouTube, so ask your questions below here. And the website, katimorton.com, if you haven't hopped on there before, check it out. And I will see you all then. Okay, bye!